Hello, my name is Dr. Ben Thompson. I am an audiologist. In today's video, we will review the Eargo Neo HiFi hearing aids. I went through the whole process of ordering them, having them shipped to my house, putting them in my ears, and getting a good sense of how they work. This video is to explain how these discrete rechargeable hearing aids work and whether they're the right hearing aids for you. Quick update to this video before you watch it. The Eargo Neo HiFi is now the older version of Eargo's hearing aid, and the Eargo 5 is the newest version. We're going to cover the Eargo 5 review on a different video, but enjoy this review of the Eargo Neo HiFi. Hi, welcome to our YouTube channel. Our job is to provide independent reviews of different hearing technology so that you can have a trusted source from doctors to make the decision about your hearing. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with our newest videos. Now let's get right into it with the 5 pros and the 3 cons of the Eargo Neo HiFi hearing aids. Again, this is an independent review. I'm going to start with the pros. Pro number 1 is that Eargo has a talented team of hearing care professionals and assistants that make sure you know how to use the devices. There's some nuances. If you've used other hearing aids, these are quite different. So there's some important things to understand. The professional team really helps you out with that. The second pro is that these are small. I'm going to show some videos on the screen right now of how small these hearing aids really are when I'm holding them in my hand. The Eargo Neo HiFi are small and they go in the ear canal, but it does not occlude your ear. It does not completely block your ear canal. And that's the unique design of the Eargo hearing aids, where it has that natural sound quality, but it does not block your ear, which is called the occlusion effect. So now watch as I put this in my ear. I'm just going to turn, goes in like that. Goes in nice and deep into my ear. As you can see, you probably can't see anything, maybe just that little clear line that's used to take it out of the ear. Pro number 3 is that the hearing aids are very discreet. It's hard to see them when they're in the ear properly. Pro number 4 of the Eargo Neo HiFi is that you can still wear a mask. It does not affect your hearing aid, it does not touch your hearing aid at all. So with the hearing aid in my ear right now, I can put on this mask just fine, and I don't have to worry about taking off the mask and having a hearing aid behind my ear flip off. And that's happened quite a bit. Since coronavirus in the audiology field, we've had to counsel patients, hey, be extra careful when you're taking off or putting on masks because hearing aids can fly away. It happened to one of my patients. So anytime a hearing aid is completely in the ear, there's no risk that a mask would take it off. So that's another pro. Pro number 5 for the Eargo Neo HiFi is that the unit is rechargeable. And for hearing aids of this size, that's pretty rare. It's a very small hearing aid and it has a nice rechargeable case. So that is a big pro, and that's something that Eargo definitely got right with their design. Now we're about to get into the 3 cons. Please watch this whole video if you're considering buying the Eargos, because there's a lot of nuances to them that I must have you understand before considering buying them. Now let's get into the cons. Con number 1 is that if you're in a noisy situation, let's say you're at a party or a group situation or a place where there's music and speech at the same time, the hearing aids might make a mistake of automatically switching the programs that you set when it hears certain types of sounds. And that happens because the way to actually change the program of the hearing aids is to take your hand, take your palm, and tap your ear twice. To tap your ear twice like that, and that's how you change the preset programs. Certain kinds of acoustic changes in your environment can automatically trigger that, but as long as you have your charger with you that connects the phone to the hearing aids and you're tech savvy, then it shouldn't be a problem. Con number 2 is that there is no direct Bluetooth connectivity or streaming from a smartphone to the devices in your ears. Modern hearing aids that are not the Eargos typically do have the ability to listen to music, podcasts, and take phone calls through the hearing aids directly, but the Eargos do not have that Bluetooth connectivity. That's just something that did not fit with the small design that fits completely in the ear. Also, the Bluetooth signal has a harder time going from in the ear canal to a phone because it has to pass around the skin. Con number 3 is that there is no tinnitus sound therapy features inside of the Eargo devices. So if you're someone who's trying to follow a tinnitus therapy plan, then it's not possible to play it directly through the device, but there would be other ways to play it from sound around you. All right, guys, I'm excited to share the rest of my independent investigation into the Eargo Neo HiFi, so let's get started with the fitting range. These hearing aids are designed for mild to moderate hearing loss, and that means it's mainly for people who have mid and high pitch hearing loss. If you have a hearing loss in the low frequencies, maybe from a history of ear infections or types of genetic hearing loss, then these devices likely wouldn't be as perfect of a fit as other hearing aids from a clinic. The devices do come with some years of warranty, that's good, and they also have professional services included in them. The Eargo app is solid. You can see on the screen share I'm about to show, you can adjust bass and treble through the app, and that would make the settings of your hearing aids change, hopefully to give you some extra clarity. You have 4 program slots in the Eargos, and you can pick the different acoustic situation you often find yourself in. Speaking with the hearing care professionals, they told me that you pick one of the hearing programs that best matches your hearing loss, your hearing needs. Through the app, you can choose the different program situations that you like. I would recommend to work with the Eargo professional, the audiologist, to make sure that you're getting the right programs based on your listening needs. Also, they say that most patients do prefer to put in a mute setting so that you can turn them off if you're in certain situations. As I said earlier, to change the programs through the device, there is no button and there is no way to do it through a phone. So you have to use your hand and tap your ear like that. And that changes the program. Every time you do it, it will say program 1, program 2, program 3, program 4. This is set up different than standard hearing aids, and you have to do each ear individually. So that's some nuance of having a device that's so small that goes deep in the ear canal that does not connect to Bluetooth from your phone. That's the way to change the programs. Hopefully you wouldn't be needed to do that in a situation where it would draw attention to your ear. One thing that took me some time to learn is that if you do want to make changes to the Eargo devices, then you have to put them in the charger, and then you have to make the changes from your phone, connect the phone with the charger, and then put the devices in your ears. So there might be some trial and error with that process until you figure out the right settings for you. Eargo has a good system for telehealth. First, I met with the client care specialist. Their name was Kaylin, and they're an in-app technical support specialist. They helped with troubleshooting and the battery changes and cleaning tips. Next, I was put in touch with Carrie, who was an audiologist. We talked on the phone, and that was my welcome call to make sure that they were in my ears, make sure that they were working well. I asked for a video consultation, and I had that with Patrick, and I'll put that on the screen. Patrick is a hearing instrument specialist, a hearing care professional, and that was our success check video call, where they just reinforced the basic tips on how to put it in the ear, how to change the tips, the piece that go on the end of the device that go in the ear. And overall, that was a very positive experience. I enjoyed working with Patrick. Again, if you're the average person and you just get these sent to your house, it's not going to work that well if you just try to do it on your own. The reason that the Eargo team has a lot of professionals is because there are some nuances of this device. To me, it's not the kind of device where you buy it, you put it in, and then boom, you're good to go. To get the maximum benefit out of this, I would recommend 1 or 2 consultations with their hearing care professionals to make sure that you're putting it in right, to make sure it's set up properly, that you have the right sizing tip on there, that you're using this through the app. But in my experience, once I did all those things, it was quick to learn how to use the device, how to learn this system of hearing. Now, a few details about the rechargeable system. As you probably are aware, you want to hear most hours of the day. So it's important to have your hearing aids actually last all day. Fortunately, on one charge, the Eargos will last about 16 hours, so that's a full day. You can rely on them for your full day of work and socializing. A full charge takes about 6 hours, and then the case itself takes 2 full charges. A full charge of the hearing aids connected to the energy source takes about 6 hours. The case itself can hold a charge, and that takes about 2 hours to charge the case. And the Eargo team told me that the portable case holds an extra 7 or so charges. In my experience, that's a pretty reliable rechargeable system. All right, guys, still with me? Now we're going to switch it up to, for me, what was a really fun part. I got to use my audiology knowledge, my doctor knowledge of sound and hearing to test these hearing aids with an independent verification. In the audiology clinic, there is something called the test box measures, and the real ear measures. You'll see me right now with this video. I'm using this real ear measure system with the Eargo in my ear, measuring the output of sound in my ear canal. Then check out this image here. You can see from left to right, it's pitch or frequency from low to high pitch. And then from top to bottom, we have loudness. So for me, I'm showing you this because the blue line at the bottom represents my ear unaided, just how my ear canal naturally processes a voice coming from in front of me from the speaker. And then I went through 3 progressively louder programs in the Eargo, which is using their preset programs. I included the minimum and then the maximum of their range. And you can see here that there's a progressive increase in the overall gain or amplification in the mid and high frequency regions, but the low frequency regions did not have any amplification. Most people have high-pitched progressive hearing loss, so this makes sense, and hopefully this explains some of the data and science. To me, this checks out, and overall it's helping people who have that mild to moderate degree of hearing loss. Next, I put the hearing aid in the test box, which I'll show an image of right here. You can see that I have it set up, so it's mimicking how an ear would respond when there's a complex listening situation. I wanted to see how well do the Eargos reduce background noise. When there was speech coming from the front and other speech around in the background, the Eargos reduced that background speech by about 5 decibels. 5 decibel noise reduction strength. In the next test, I used a steady state noise of an air conditioner, and the Eargos reduced that by about 9 decibels. Overall, these are respectable scores, and as an audiologist, the reason we do these reviews is to provide some independent scientific perspective on this. So I was happy to see both of those results. That means that the Eargo devices are reducing background noise and trying to help you hear more clearly when there is background noise around you. We're almost done with this video, and we're going to cover some questions I had for their audiologists, as well as some other products that are worth comparing to the Eargo. But before I get there, I just want to say thank you again for being here. Now let's finish off this video. I had some questions for their audiology team. Number 1, can I submit a hearing test? Can I submit an audiogram? They said yes, you can submit an audiogram to their team, but it's not required to get the devices sent to you. Number 2, I asked, can you adjust the levels of my Eargo based on my hearing test? They said yes, the audiologist can make some additional adjustments and changes to the device based on the information that you give them through the hearing test. Number 3, I asked, how do you verify that I'm getting the most benefit? And they responded with that they use subjective patient responses. So they talk to you and they learn, hey, is this working for you? Is this not? That's not as objective of a way to verify hearing aid benefit as an in-person clinic, but that's the best that you can do in the telehealth model for right now at the time of making this video. Now, thanks for watching again. Overall, Eargo is a unique product. It fits tiny in the ear. They're comfortable. I wore them for a while. They help hear. They provide that clarity to speech. Those things are true. The rechargeable battery is unique. Some of the tapping on the ears and the Bluetooth connectivity, it's not what I would like to happen, but I don't think that's even technically possible to have that yet. I'm sure if it was, the Eargo scientific team would make it happen, but just some pros and cons to consider if you're looking at these devices. Now let's compare the Audicus Aura, put on this side, and then the Eargo Neo HiFi over on this side. Similar price range. The Audicus Aura completely occludes and blocks the ear. The Eargo Neo HiFi has a more natural open fit in the ear canal. So for most people, that definitely gives an advantage to the Eargo Neo HiFi. Audicus Aura fits nicely in my ear. It's a little bigger. Eargo Neo HiFi was smaller and actually more comfortable. So again, I would give a benefit to the Neo HiFi for that. And lastly, in my experience, the Eargo Neo HiFi had more professional focus on the audiologist, on counseling, on having telehealth sessions, whereas the Audicus Aura wasn't so much focused on that. They both offer professional services, but I just wanted to remind you that if you tried to do it on your own for either of these devices, your success rate would be less on average, all things equal, than if you used an audiologist, a hearing care professional to help and consult you along the way. Thank you so much. It's a privilege, it's a pleasure to make this video to educate you about Eargo, to educate you about different hearing technology devices. My name is Dr. Ben Thompson. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments. Thank you guys. Take care.